Welcome back to WagerTalk TV. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined with Ralph Michaels. It is the 2-minute rundown on the clock. The Oakland Raiders.
Sell, sell, sell. You look at Oakland, and I look at him, and I had no problems with him trading Khalil Mack last year. I had no problems trading Amari Cooper. You're building for a change when you come to Las Vegas. But if you say you traded those superstars, and then you pick a Clemson player who most people thought was the third best Clemson defensive lineman, and then your other first-round pick is a safety most people thought go in the third round, to me that's a headstrong ownership and a headstrong leadership, and that's exactly what you're getting with Gruden. I mean, in fact, Gruden sent all his scouts home the week before the draft because he didn't want leaking out who he was going to take. Well, no one else was going to take those players. It didn't matter if it leaked or not. I don't know what you're looking at, but then you look at Oakland's schedule, and they play one preseason game at home, their first game. Then they go on the road their last 3 preseason games. And this was from someone else's tweet, and I don't know who it was. So this wasn't my information. I am stealing it from a tweet, but it was so logical.
We don't steal, you're borrowing.
Well, I'm borrowing. I'm giving credit to, I wish I knew who I was giving credit to, but they play their last 3 preseason games at home. They open up against Denver on Monday night, their rival, and Kansas City, their rival, and then they're not home against November 3rd. I could see a long stretch there of not playing well, losses, not playing in front of your home crowd, and then you're going to get to the end of the year with a record that's probably going to be losing and a crowd that knows you're moving to Las Vegas. I just see it, my numbers actually have them winning 5.66 games with the way the schedule plays out. But they're only favored in 3 games, and they're a pick in 2 games. So that means they're a pick or better in only 5 games. You're getting a win total of 6. Throw in all the fiasco that is, you mentioned in another video, Antonio Brown and Vontaze Burfict. And yes, they have Brandon Marshall. And, they brought in some names, but you were 28th in scoring. Your defense was number 32 in scoring. That doesn't make for a combination. Yes, they'll be improved. They'll improve off 4 and 12. But situationally, schedule-wise, the moving next year, I like them under 6 wins.
Yeah, and I'm just going to throw it. This is a team that, to me, everything they're doing is setting up for next year. This is not looking at 2019. We're looking for that first year we hit Vegas, and the big factor is going to be this is a make-or-break season for Derek Carr. He's got to put up some numbers, and they went out and got him a playmaker in Antonio Brown. We'll see how that plays out. As you said, with that early season schedule that they have, opening up with 2 tough, games, divisional games, and then not being at home for that long stretch, this season could unravel very quickly. I want to see Antonio Brown, like I said, the same with Le'Veon Bell in New York. When you hit late November and early December and you're out of the playoff picture, I want to see how those superstars play, because their entire careers, they were in it till the final week of the season and generally going to the playoffs where they came from. I want to see those players. We've already questioned their work ethics as it is, and that was teams that were playoff
Pittsburgh was in the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
Or in the playoff contention every year.
So we'll see how that works out for them. But Derek Carr's got to put up big numbers this year. They added some defensive pieces, but you've added pieces of guys that are on the end of their career.
Absolutely.
They can maybe give a little bit of stability as far as veteran leadership. But do you really want veteran leadership from Burfict?
Well, Brandon Marshall and LaMarcus Joyner will be those guys. Yeah. But it's, again, they had to fill some holes. Well, when you're 32 in defense, you can't get any worse. So let's put it that way.
Well, that's a good way to spin it. Okay? Hey, we're the worst defensive team in the NFL. It can't get any worse. Give me some TNA.
Well, Oakland's 0-13 against the spread. I had to have a losing ATS.
Absolutely.
Oakland's 0-13 against the spread as a TD plus dog off a straight-up win. That's simple.
It's very simple.
If they win a game the next game, they don't have those back-to-back games, especially against an outmatched opponent. 0-13 in that role.
All right, guys. Hey, if you like our videos, do you know we've got a WagerTalk podcast every week? We can go a little more in depth. We can be a little bit funny and goofy at times. Ralph sometimes brings special drinks to the podcast, the energy drinks that he likes to have. Check it out. Check it out. You can download at iTunes. You can listen to us Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all of the other major podcast mediums. Check it out. We generally do the podcast each and every Thursday. Check it out all season long, the WagerTalk podcast. We'll be back with more here at WagerTalk TV.